Hi, my name is Monica Mendoza, and today I will be presenting impulse momentum theorem. Well, I would like to start off with saying that to understand impulse momentum theorem, we must understand what momentum is. And momentum is the measurement of mass in motion, with the formula typically being P equals M times V, with P being momentum and M being mass and V being velocity of object. It's also important to know that velocity increases due to the gravity, so that means momentum will also increase. However, as an object increases in mass, its momentum will be more difficult to bring it to a stop because the momentum will be larger as well. So, larger mass will equal larger momentum. Well, now moving forward, we're going to talk about impulse. An impulse is the product of the force and the time over which the force acts on an object. This is found with the formula F times T equals impulse. So that equals F being force and T being time in seconds is going to equal the impulse. Well, impulse is directly linked to impulse momentum theorem, with the formula being F times T equals mass times velocity, final velocity, minus mass times initial velocity. Impulse momentum theorem is when an object has a change in momentum, it takes force and time. Meaning, if you apply force on an object, it will gain some momentum. Or if an object is losing momentum, it must be transferred to that force. Now showing you this video, you see that the Mercedes-Benz clearly has a larger mass, but the smaller truck has a longer velocity. So when going against each other, clearly the Mercedes overpowers the smaller truck. And because the masses are so different, the momentum doesn't really transfer that same force. That's why you see the truck is moving more slowly than how the Mercedes was pushing it. The theory also describes that the force is being transferred equally, then the time must be instant. So if the Mercedes was to be moved at a longer force than the smaller truck, then they would have transferred forces equally. So the longer the contact means more momentum transferred. So if they hit each other longer, then they probably would have exerted more of the same amount of force. So, as an example, we have 55 kilogram object is moving at 14.2 meters per second with 100 N force in the opposite direction, which is causing it to slow down to 10.6 meters per second. How long was the force applied? Well, with that information, we know that we are going to use the impulse momentum theorem. So, negative 100 being the force, well, it's negative because it's going the opposite direction. And then we have 55 kilograms as the mass, which is going to be multiplied by 10.6 minus 14.2, the velocities, well, the final velocity and the initial velocity. So then we're left with negative 198. So then we bring over the negative 100 and we divide that by negative 198, and we're left with the time being 1.98 seconds. Well, following that example, we now know what impulse is, what momentum is, and what is impulse momentum theorem. Thank you.